whenever you do something about representation or diversity or whatever,
Sure.
there's always pushback. I mean, what would you? I mean, how would you counter that? I suppose.
Well, I mean, the real truth is those people are idiots.
Good Monday to you all. Jazz Berganza here. Another episode of What's Next, your daily dose of common sense and facts. I did a video yesterday in regards to one Chris Evans and, of course, his comments calling people who believe in traditional values idiots, amongst, of course, in regards to his upcoming movie, Lightyear, which, of course, opened Friday. Well, turns out that being this is Groomer Month after all, Disney Woke likes to push the envelope, and yeah, people didn't like it. Let's take a look. This comes out of Breitbart. Nolte, Disney's big gay Lightyear is the latest woke box office flop. As you can see there, of course, that's Chris Evans and a scene from the movie. Lightyear, the latest piece of child grooming media from predators at, of course, Disney Woke, is looking like a box office catastrophe, which is only a surprise to those who don't live in the real world. Gee, what do you think would happen if you add some high-profile homosexuality to a kiddie movie? I'll tell you what happens. The latest chapter of the most iconic and beloved animated franchise of all time not only crash lands with a pathetic thud at 51 to 55 million opening for that franchise, that is a thud. It comes in second place behind the second weekend of Jurassic World Dominion. Good job, Disney. Well done. Allow me to caveat these numbers could still change, but over at the far left deadline, along with all kinds of excuses for the conspicuously avoid the woke propaganda in Lightyear, they are already calling it a disaster. Well, this wasn't supposed to happen. Disney's Lightyear, despite an A cinema score and 4 stars, 85% positive on post-track, is coming way under its 70 to 85 million projection at 51 to 55 million over a 3-day weekend. And of course, it came in second to Jurassic World Dominion with 57.1. Jurassic could even reach 66.3 through the 4-day of the so-called Juneteenth holiday. What the hell happened here? Despite the lowest Rotten Tomatoes rating of the Toy Story franchise, and I really don't call this Lightyear part of the franchise, just like I was not a fan of Part 4. Part 4 of Toy Story was a cash grab. Franchise at 77% certified fresh, it's clear that no one in great quantity is going to see the origin story of Buzz Lightyear. Understand that a Pixar movie and a Jurassic movie have played in close proximity to each other over the calendar before. They both walked away with an embarrassment of riches. While we're mentioning that spin-offs always open lower than the core franchise films, take your pick: Fantastic Beasts versus Harry Potter, Hobbs and Shaw versus Fast and Furious, Bumblebee versus Transformers. This could be a case of going to the Toy Story well too soon, too fast, despite the fact that theater closures and a pandemic stood between now and the last Toy Story 3 years ago. Going to the well too soon. Marvel releases 2 and 3 movies a year. You mean that going to the well too soon? The Lord of the Rings and Hobbit came out every year. You mean going to the well too soon? The 2 Sonic Hedgehog movies came out 2 years apart, 20 and 22, and the second one opened higher than the first, 58 to 72 million. You mean that going to the well too soon? Oh, and both of these Sonic openings beat Lightyear's opening. The deadline blames a critical reaction, even though Lightyear has an 80% fresh score at Rotten Tomatoes, and Jurassic World Dominion is below 40%. Then Deadline blames the inflationary, well, it is inflammatory, even though in the past 3 weeks, we've seen Top Gun and Jurassic World Dominion perform at or way above expectations. Here's the bottom line, Disney tards. You don't gay up Toy Story. This is Toy Story. You gayed up Toy Story. Are you out of your minds? No one cares if your movies are made for homosexuals. Movies should be made for everyone. But you are never going to mainstream this stuff because even though most people are afraid to say so, watching it makes 90% of us uncomfortable, unless you are gay, same sex. Even a kiss is unnatural, and we don't go to the movies to be made uncomfortable. And we sure as hell don't go to the movies to have explained human sexuality to our children before they're ready for it. How bad is Lightyear opening? Well, 3.5 years ago, Toy Story 4 opened to 121. If these figures hold, Lightyear won't even do half that. Another thing to keep in mind is that there is no competition. The only kiddie movie still in theaters is The Bad Guys, which opened all the way back in April after the resounding success of Toy Story 4 with a wide open field at the box office, especially during the summer, especially over Father's Day. There was never a better time to open Lightyear. But you had to use Disney's most iconic franchise and one of its most iconic characters to push the grooming agenda. Again, I encourage all studios to make movies for all people, and that of course includes homosexuals, but it is immoral to add homosexuality to a kid's movie. Kids are not ready for this, and their parents certainly are not. And the crashing and burning of this $200 million piece of propaganda should tell you most people agree. You can't imagine how bad this is. Expectations were already being managed with a ridiculously low projection of 60 to 85. The entertainment media had front-loaded a low ball so Disney could claim a win, even though it would not have been even at 85 million. Woketards never learn. P.S. Almost as dumb as ganging up Lightyear was replacing the beloved Tim Allen in the lead role. Woketards, yeah. John Nolte is 100% correct. And no one goes to see a kiddie movie to be pushed political propaganda. And especially during this grooming month, which we have seen an overabundance, a steroid-laced, if you will, garbage, dumpster fires of nonsense across the country, you don't do it with a kiddie movie. You just don't do it. But then again, this is the same Disney that destroyed a franchise in Star Wars, pretty much put out woke propaganda regarding its Marvel movies, has had some of the worst showings of Marvel TV shows. Of course, the latest will be Miss Marvel, which is absolutely trash. And then you tell Tim Allen to go pound sand and kick rocks because we're going to make this a prequel and, of course, put Chris Evans at the helm of the voice. That's fine. Great as Captain America, as I said in yesterday's video. But, yeah, when he makes the comments calling those who believe in traditional values idiots because you need to change with the times, yeah, that's a problem. And then you reinsert the gay kiss scene because initially it was removed. It was going to be, it wasn't going to be in the movie at all across the board, no matter where it was going to be shown. But of course, the gay scene, of course, was put back in for American audiences, but surprisingly, still left out in China and Middle Eastern. For Middle Eastern audiences, gee, I wonder why. But again, I don't count this as the Toy Story franchise, just like I don't count Toy Story 4 as part of the franchise. The franchise trilogy ended as such, 1, 2, and 3. It was great. And again, you make it woke. You tell Tim Allen to get lost. What did you expect to happen? You expect the bust. That is what you expect to happen. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.